what's going on. Obviously, you've seen what's going on in California. But the governor gave this creepy fucking speech where he was talking about speculators coming in and talking about what to do with the land of all these homes that have been burnt down while it's still only 6% contained. And he did this little dance like, I've been talking with these, with the governor of Hawaii about what to do. We've got some ideas. We're gonna have some meetings. Like, he's
really?
California Governor Gavin Newsom is now calling his city's homeless encampments unacceptable, which is odd since he's the guy who made them acceptable, turning sidewalks into red carpet events for drug addicts, thieves, and unemployed CNN anchors. On Monday, he urged cities to ban the camps from sidewalks, parks, and other public areas. So after years of denying the problem, he's now pretending to fix it, which is like putting on a condom as you're leaving a whorehouse. Who hasn't?
It all began with a smirk, just a flicker of overconfidence, only to spiral into a full-blown scorched earth spectacle. Somewhere between dodged questions and darting eyes, Gavin Newsom forgot which camera to look terrified into. Then came Joe Rogan, charging in with facts heavier than kettlebells, slamming down truths like reps in a cage match. Hot on his heels, Gutfeld delivered punchlines sharper than California's tax hikes. Funny, yes, but devastating. What unfolded wasn't just a takedown, it was a glorious, slow-motion policy meltdown. And no, not even Newsom's industrial-strength hair gel could hold this disaster together. Grab the popcorn, you're in for a show.
President Newsom either. Nobody believes in that guy. That guy's a fucking con man. Everything he did in California, from trying to mandate vaccines for kids to being caught public without a mask and lying about the fact that he was outdoors.
Yeah.
Nobody believes in that guy. He's just a politician. Just a stone cold, narrative driven politician. Nobody thinks he's a real human. Whether you like Trump or not, whether you think he's corrupt or not, that's a human being. You know what that guy is. Same thing with RFK Jr. Whether you believe that he's correct about vaccines or whether you believe his policies would be effective, and that's a human being. With Newsom, you got like this construct, this cardboard cutout of a person. I don't think people want that, but they might want it more than they want president.
Cut to Gavin Newsom. Camera creeping in like it's about to uncover the secret formula hidden in that perfectly sculpted, award-winning hair. Hair that looks less like a style and more like it could broker world peace if bottled and sold as conditioner. He's perched at the podium, radiating the confidence of a man who genuinely believes the universe is suffering from a shortage of him. And then, boom, the voiceover hits, crisp as a mic drop. Because when two heavyweight lie detectors lock onto California's crowned prince of optics, it's no longer a policy debate. It's a stylish, high-stakes demolition job. Equal parts substance, spectacle, and unapologetic flair.
Ponders why Dems lost.
We lost the popular vote and we lost the electoral vote. We got.
Kennedy, I think the answer is yes. Was
it because of Israel? Yes. Interest rates? Yes. Too woke? Yes. It's like every bad policy that trickled up to the White House during the Biden administration started in California. That state is responsible for the worst politicians in modern history. And he is at the top of the list, and there are some ignoramuses on it.
Now let's talk about Gavin. The man doesn't just walk into a room, he arrives, like it's the final strut of a fashion show titled Government Overreach. But make it Kuchar. He's mastered the politician's holy trinity. A toothpaste commercial smile, a TEDx cadence, and a governing style that feels like your Wi-Fi, technically connected, but constantly buffering. On paper, he's the progressive dream. All solar panels and sound bites, charisma cranked to 11, and enough climate buzzwords to plant a forest mid-sentence. And just when you think it's all style, he whips out a pocket full of recycled paper, ready to win awards and hearts in equal measure.
Their houses have been burned. All their childhood memorabilia, all the stuff for their kids, the photos, the fucking everything they have. Everything they have is gone. All heirlooms, their mother's wedding ring, that kind of shit. Everything's burnt to the ground. And this guy's like standing in front of all this stuff, and he's got a smile on his face, and he's talking about land use.
The development plan.
Let's not even open the floodgates on his climate sermons. He's got enough eco-policies to stock an entire aisle at Whole Foods. Solar slogans, green pledges, and electric dreams flow freely. Until California's energy grid gets taken out by a light breeze and a warm Tuesday. Go electric. They rally, right before sending out emergency alerts, begging people not to charge their cars between 4 and 9 p.m. because, well, the sun called it a day. Peak irony. Banning gas stoves for the planet's sake, while half the state is cooking dinner by flashlight and praying the fridge survives the evening.
And he's the guy who thinks he's going to run for president when, so much of the state is absolutely unlivable. And so every project that he's championed, he's now trying to demonize conveniently. And people are not that dumb. Like, people have been through it in his state. They are sick of him. They want him to leave. And maybe that's why so many people around him are like, you should totally run for president. So he gets out of the state.
Yes. Move away. Tyrus, did he leave out any?
Joe Rogan didn't just leave California, he evacuated, like a man spotting a glitch in the simulation and deciding to hard reset his reality via Interstate 10 East. And really, who could blame him? When your once idyllic home starts looking less like sun-soaked Malibu and more like the set of a live-action Fallout reboot, even a sauna-obsessed, elk-hunting podcast giant has to tap out eventually. Rogan didn't just relocate, he defected, trading coastal smog and kale smoothies for Texas skies and constitutional carry. Think of it like a UFC champ swapping tofu for testosterone. And he didn't slip away quietly, he brought with him the loudest megaphone on earth, the Joe Rogan Experience. This isn't your aunt's true crime podcast. With over 100 million listeners and an algorithm scarier than CNN's rating sheet, Rogan's platform is a cultural wrecking ball. His secret sauce? No filters, all fire, and an endless supply of, what the hell is going on here? Energy. And nothing triggered that signature Rogan eye twitch faster than Gavin Newsom's lockdown logic. Public restrictions by day, fine dining by night. While Californians were told to mask up and stay home, Gavin was out sampling caviar like it was a tasting menu apocalypse. Rogan didn't just call it out, he drove the hypocrisy so hard. The French Laundry's reservation system nearly filed for trauma counseling.
Down in Hawaii, you had some ideas around some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties, and the like. So we're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward, and we'll be presenting those in a matter of days, not just weeks.
With a big smile on his face. Look at the little wiggle he does with his shoulders. Speculator, watch this. Talking to Josh. Look at this little wiggle. It's excited about the possibilities of speculators coming in. And he's saying we're move forward. We're going to move forward on that. These people lost their homes. A lot of those people don't even have fire insurance because the fire insurance pulled out of California. I think like 69% of fire insurance pulled out of California because they're like, this is too crazy. Like, you guys aren't doing jack shit to manage this. You're not clearing the burn.
Rogan didn't make the leap alone. He brought backup. A full roster of heavyweight minds. Doctors, economists, technologists, and comedians armed with PhDs in sarcasm. One by one, they held up a mirror to California's chaos, and the reflection was as confusing as a TikTok investment webinar. You had restrictions that strangled small businesses while corporate giants waltzed through loopholes. Health mandates that seemed less science and more magic 8-ball. Reply hazy, try again. And overseeing it all was a governor who seemed to believe public trust could be earned with a dazzling smile and a $40 bottle of hair product. Then came the great tech exodus. A modern-day Oregon Trail, except this time the wagons were Teslas and the threats weren't rivers or cholera, but regulation and rolling blackouts. Rogan didn't just talk the talk, he packed up the studio, left the coastal theatrics behind, and planted his flag in Austin, a place where the power grid wasn't held together by wishful thinking. But here's the twist, his most piercing critique didn't come from charts or expert soundbites. It came from something much harder to refute, lived experience.
While Californians have lost their homes and they're still suffering from the devastation, what does Gavin Newsom decide to do? Well, now is apparently the perfect time to try and boost his popularity and essentially promote himself. He's launched a podcast. I'll play you the trailer in just a moment, but take notice. Does the trailer that he shared with the world on X, does it even mention the most horrific fire catastrophe that occurred under his leadership, partly as a result of the decisions he was making, like cutting fire prevention? No, this is his chance to talk about his image, insisting that he's no ordinary politician.
Rogan didn't need to yell. He didn't need to twist facts or dress them up with dramatic flair. He just picked up the mic, glanced around, and said what everyone with a shred of common sense was already whispering. This doesn't work. No theatrics, just clarity. And then, right on cue, enters Greg Gutfeld, like a raccoon with a thesaurus, a grudge, and a vendetta against political absurdity. He's not just roasting, he's flambeing. Precision burns. He doesn't rant, he surgically fillets every layer of phoniness with a sly grin, a scalpel-sharp punchline, and a side-eye so potent it could curdle oat milk. Gutfeld is a 5-course meal of satire wrapped in weaponized sarcasm. He takes one glance at Newsom's airbrushed exterior. The guy looks like he was manufactured by a Westworld marketing team, and immediately highlights the contradiction. Colon add charisma governing with the reckless abandon of someone trying to beat SimCity on nightmare mode. He paints the picture, Gavin, glossy on the cover of Vanity Fair, all jawline and gel. But pan the camera back, tent cities sprawling behind him, sidewalks streaked with human despair, boarded up mom and pop shops, sharing street corners with $14 green juice bars. It's a dystopia day spa hybrid, and somehow Newsom's still grinning like he cured homelessness with a lavender candle and a daily affirmation.
I think there's about 100 other reasons too.
Well, it's not his words when he speaks.
Yeah.
You have to watch him closely. And some genius decided not to film him any lower than the shoulder.
Yes, did you? Yes.
So what did he do?
You couldn't see the hands.
No, but he sent Morse code.
Yes.
Go back and watch it. Look at the blinking. Blink, look. Meet me at the house. Like, he's blinking. He's sending, I'm getting there. Hey, just so you know, I'm not wearing pants.
But Gutfeld doesn't stop at mocking the glossy exterior. He zeroes in on the soft underbelly. Media worship. He calls out the legacy outlets that treat Gavin Newsom like he's a reincarnated Kennedy emerging from a compost heap, slick, polished, and allegedly saving the world one recycled bottle at a time. But while the headlines gush about Camelot 2.0, the streets tell a different story. More crime-ridden Coachella than political utopia. Gutfeld's monologues don't just jab, they draw blood. He skewers the disconnect between press adoration and public reality, highlighting how mainstream networks hail Gavin's bold leadership, while everyday Californians are out here playing economic Russian roulette, gambling each week with rent, gas prices, and what little peace of mind they have left. Then comes the climate bit, and this is where Gutfeld hits his comedic stride like a sniper fueled by espresso and righteous indignation. He dismantles the airy promises, solar panels, carbon neutrality, equity this, equity that, while asking the real question, who actually pays for all of it? Turns out it's working families, getting slapped with blackout warnings, bureaucratic fines, and the joy of watching government hybrids zip by, while charging stations remain as mythical as a unicorn on Melrose. For Gutfeld, it's not about saving the planet. It's about saving face on Instagram.
Gavin Newsom talks about California. He's like, I'm very big on California, very bullish on California. Hey, they're all moving. The only reason why they don't move is because it's too difficult to move. It's too expensive to leave versus all the bullshit with all the permits and all that. It's too expensive. Believe that he's correct about vaccines or whether you believe his policies would be effective. And that's a human being. With Newsom, you've got like this construct, this cardboard cutout of a person. I don't think people want that, but they might want it more than they want president.
But Gutfeld's most brutal blow. It isn't about hair gel or hypocrisy. It's the dagger aimed at Gavin Newsom's presidential pipe dream. Whispers of a 2028 run swirl through media circles like gospel, but Gutfeld treats it more like a late-night punchline. He doesn't buy the hype. He mocks the idea that a governor who can't even manage his own state is somehow qualified to manage an entire nation. He's running, Gutfeld quips, but it's from accountability, not for office. And then the jokes start writing themselves. Newsom's national aspirations? Gutfeld compares them to franchising a restaurant that just failed its health inspection. Sure, the sign is shiny, the logo is sleek, but the kitchen's crawling with problems, and the Yelp reviews are written in flames. Gutfeld doesn't just joke, he indicts. Behind every laugh is a truth so uncomfortable, it doesn't need spin, it needs a hazmat suit. Then it happens. The crossover nobody saw coming, but absolutely everyone needed. Joe Rogan and Greg Gutfeld, two wildly different messengers of the same inconvenient truth, colliding like ideological meteorites with Gavin Newsom at ground zero. One's all incense and investigation, the other, punchlines and precision cuts. But both arrive at the same place. Newsom's leadership doesn't just miss the mark, it vaporizes the entire target. Newsom talks like a Democrat, but governs like a Republican when it benefits him. The only time the progressive left seems pro-trans is when Gavin's ambitions suddenly grow a pair and head for the White House. And Rogan, he doesn't foam at the mouth, he doesn't scream. He just drops facts in that deceptively laid-back podcast voice. People are leaving, businesses are fleeing, homelessness is exploding. I moved for a reason. It lands like a TED talk delivered by a guy holding a sledgehammer behind his back. Then Gutfeld tags in. Different energy, same accuracy. Where Rogan gently autopsies the system's failure, Gutfeld storms in like a stand-up comic reading from a script that's too absurd to be fiction. His face says what everyone's thinking. Can you believe this is real? Rogan gives you the rot, methodically, intellectually. He appeals to the independents, the thinkers, the spreadsheet readers. Gutfeld grabs the skeptics, the cynics, the people who stopped trusting cable news, back when hashtags still had novelty. Rogan fans bring data and 3-hour interviews. Gutfeld's people, they just point at the flaming dumpster and say, "Told you."
California Governor Gavin Newsom has been facing major calls to resign over his appalling handling of the deadly California wildfires. And just to quickly recap, these were the most destructive wildfires the state has ever seen. More than 16,000 properties were destroyed. The cost of the fires is estimated to be more than $200 billion. And for businesses in LA County, the future is looking grim. It's projected businesses will continue to lose billions of dollars over the next 5 years due to...
But now, they're aligned, like political planets drifting into perfect orbit before a full-blown ideological eclipse. Libertarians, conservatives, ex-hippies, disillusioned millennials, Gen Z skeptics, and even that one tattooed barista who tapped out of politics somewhere between mask mandates and inflation, they are all nodding. All strangely in agreement. All quietly realizing that maybe, just maybe, the real pandemic wasn't viral, it was theatrical. And just when it feels like the final act is over, bam, the climactic montage rolls in. At this point, it's not even about who landed the cleanest punch. It's about what was revealed. Newsom didn't just get roasted, he got decoded. The glossy script, the curated optics, the rehearsed lines, they all unraveled in real time. The curtain didn't just drop, it got yanked. You can already picture the aftermath. Rogan launching a 3-hour breakdown titled Why California Still Sucks. Volume 2 Bon Jovi. Gutfeld spinning it into a late-night segment called Gavin's Glamorous Gutter Tour, complete with glitter graphics and slow zooms. And as for Newsom, maybe he'll reflect, maybe he'll rethink. Just kidding, he'll probably post a filtered selfie beside a wind turbine with a hashtag like hashtag leading the way. And yet, despite their wildly different styles and followings, both camps land on the same inescapable verdict. Gavin Newsom isn't leading, he's performing. And the audience, let's just say the reviews are in, and it's 2 thumbs way down. It's not just that he's failing, it's how he's failing. With flair, with Instagrammable lighting. He's the political equivalent of a movie trailer that blows you away. Cinematic shots, swelling music, dramatic slow-mo. But then you sit through the actual film and realize it's 90 minutes of empty calories, plot holes, and bizarre choices that no editor dared to fix. Rogan and Gutfeld, despite standing in very different corners of the cultural ring, call out the same thing. Newsom is a walking monument to style over substance, a politician who substitutes polished speeches for real solutions. When these two truth-slingers tag-team to peel back that glossy veneer, it's like watching 2 radically different mechanics dismantle the same busted engine, one armed with a wrench, the other swinging a chainsaw. And what's truly wild? The reaction is unified. 2 audiences that wouldn't normally be caught dead in the same group chat are suddenly nodding in unison, watching the same illusion unravel before their eyes.